Do you wanna come to my hotel? Baby, I'ma give you my room key. I'm feeling the way you carry yourself. I know it is like blasphemy to sing that song right now in this day and age, in this climate. But it's appropriate. If you watch Raw, it's appropriate, man. Welcome to Raw Takes with Chidi Bang. Yes, I'm gonna recap the June 10th episode of Monday Night Raw. I we locked in. Raw hailed from Toledo, Ohio. And it was a good show. It was a good show. It was a good go home show. Give me 1 second. It was a good go home show for Raw, leading to this Clash at the Castle in Scotland. But let's just run through the night. There's a couple of eventful things I want to touch on. I'm not going to hit on every little thing, but let's talk about the angles. Let's talk about the angles going on. We had a couple matches that I want to touch on. Let's start with the Liv and Dom thing, man. Liv is crazy, man. Liv is having a full court press on Dom as she was last week. She is not stopping. She's stopped by. She's giving Dominic the room key. So she's trying to get this nigga caught up, man. Trying to get this nigga caught up. I love what's going on with the potential of Rhea coming back down the line. What they're doing with Judgment Day and Liv Morgan. I do think she needs some competitors for that championship, but in this brief moment where the field is kind of, barren, I don't mind her being this, getting her character to evolve through this way. She's being very, very seductive with Dom. There was a match tonight with Braun Strowman, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio versus Dominic, JD, and Carlito. Prior to that, she tried to give Dominic Mysterio the room key, but they've been trying to say, yo, this is not good. It's dangerous. They're trying to protect young Dom from the influence of Liv Morgan, but they try to get back on their business. They're the Judgment Day business. They're trying to handle some business against Braun Strowman, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. It was a decent 6-man tag match. At one point, though, Liv came out, just to get Dominic Mysterio's attention. He tries to leave the ring like, yo, leave me alone and everything. For some reason, Zelina Vega knocks her off the apron. She falls on top of Dom, straddles him, and is in a precarious position. And she starts, just teasing him, rubbing on his chest and shit, what she was doing last week. And for some reason, Zelina Vega starts, attacking her. I don't get what Zelina has to do with any of this. I'm just let the girl get her shit off. Like, why is Zelina Vega being such a cockblock? That's what I thought. Or you know what? I'm not sure what you call for women, but I know for Dom it's cockblock. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things evolve. I think that now we have to see Zelina and Liv Morgan match. But that's the biggest takeaway from that match. And we'll see how things evolve. But the whole thing with the room key was interesting because I'm not sure where it ended up. Because I think that, if I'm not mistaken, Finn Balor had the room key by the end of the night. I'm not sure if he's trying to keep it away from Dom or what, but I don't know. We'll find out how this plays out because this shit was hot potato with that room key all night. All right. So that led to the main event. We had Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. Damian Priest came out to set that match up, but Damian Priest is talking like a boss. He's talking like he don't need Judgment Day, and he's trying to prove to people like you don't need the help of Judgment Day. He said when Finn beats you, I want Judgment Day right there for in a person to watch me beat you in your home country. But if you defeat Finn tonight, then fine. There's no Judgment Day interference come Sunday. Long story short, Drew McIntyre defeated Finn tonight. Good match because they're obviously both professionals. Enjoyed it back and forth. The Judgment Day just try to get involved, but it ended up with a Claymore. And he pinned Finn right in the middle ring, 1, 2, 3. There was a little stare off between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre at the end of the night. So I'm really excited to see where this thing goes, because if I'm really sitting here and thinking, this, like I said last week, this is the first World Heavyweight Championship match since WrestleMania that I did not know the winner prior to it. So it could go Damian Priest's route, or it can go Drew McIntyre route. Drew's in his hometown, home country even. It would be a big moment for him to win. And to be honest, he kind of is the biggest star on Raw that is healthy. I know there's Seth Rollins, I know there's CM Punk, but he's the guy. It doesn't feel like Damian Priest has elevated to that level stature where he is completely, stepping into his aura as a champion. I like that he has it. I think he earned it. I think he's a great talent. But a lot of the times with your first championship runs as a world champion, it's not like you've figured it all out yet. Even Booker T was talking about it on his podcast that his first championship run, he didn't realize what it meant to be a world champion, and what it came with and how you present yourself. And I think that happens for a lot of first-time world champions. I always talk about on the podcast, CM Punk's first championship reign wasn't it. Drew McIntyre's was okay. But Kevin Owens still hasn't got his second one. His first one, he regrets some of the things that happened there. Daniel Bryan Danielson, his first World Heavyweight Championship. A lot of people have a tough go at it their first time with a championship. So I'm waiting for the time when I think Drew needs to get away from the Judgment Day. I'm waiting for the time for him to break up with the Judgment Day and find his own lane, because I think that's when we're going to see him kind of spread his wings. He seems like he's kind of like a ball and chain. It's kind of like an anchor to him. And having to do these segments backstage in the clubhouse over and over again without, just going out there and kicking ass as a champion, or being able to just talk his shit, always having to defend his place with the Judgment Day and all that stuff. Nah, we were going to see on Sunday a singles match, no interference between the Judgment Day and, so it's going to be Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. I'm really looking forward to the match itself, but it's going to be a away game for Damian Priest. So even on top of the fact that, he doesn't seem like he's the top guy at the moment on the roster. He's in the top field of guys, don't get me wrong, but he's not the top guy. And he's away. It feels like it's just set up for Drew McIntyre to win this. However, there is a caveat. Judgment Day cannot interfere. But that doesn't mean that the Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless, can't make a pop-up in Scotland. Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. And if CM Punk want to pop out and show Drew that he still holds the cards and still, can determine his trajectory as a career, that might be an opportunity for CM Punk to do that. He said, even if I have to go to Scotland to beat your ass, I will do that and find you. And if CM Punk shows up in Scotland to ruin this for Drew, it's going to turn Drew into the psychopath that he's supposed to be. And I don't care if they boo CM Punk. I think CM Punk honestly might be cheered low key, but him screwing Drew would be epic, because that just gives him a lot more motivation for Drew to just snap. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with CM Punk interfering and screwing Drew out of the championship opportunity and his hometown. That just adds more fuel to the fire, adds more, heat. Makes the blood rivalry even that much more strong as an angle, I think, for real. What else we want to talk about? Let's see. Let's talk about my favorite angle since WrestleMania. Chad Gable, man. Chad Gable is doing great work with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, to me, cuts one of the best babyface promos out of anybody in wrestling. Like, if you want to give a guy a babyface, give any babyface a microphone. If you're going to say, I need a babyface, I need to give him a microphone. I need them to galvanize the fans. Sami Zayn might be, top 3, and he might not be 3 or 2. So when he goes out there and he starts talking about his experience and starts saying about what this means to him to be our Intercontinental Champion and where he's at with Chad Gable, he wants to put an end to it. And then when he speaks to the Alpha Academy about the things that he's been through with the bloodline backstage, and he's telling them, listen, you don't got to put up with this with Chad Gable. He just seemed extremely sincere. He's kind of like how I feel about when I hear Bailey on the microphone. He just comes off very sincere, So his microphone work was great today. Chad Gable came out and said, listen, we're good. Don't worry about being Alpha Cap. We good. All right. They're happy, matter of fact. And then, Sammy talked this shit, said, do they look happy? That led to Otis and him having their match that was advertised for tonight. Chad Gable kept trying to coach Otis to win the match, and he overcoached him, so to speak. And that ended up in his demise and losing the match. And then after the match, go back to the slaps, man. Otis Gable slapped Otis a couple times to get him to attack Sammy. Otis finally did it, attacked Sammy, hit him with the World's Strongest Slam. But after that, he did kind of snap on Gable, and Gable had to cower in the corner like, hey, please don't hit me. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. And that led to, Otis just walking out. So I do think we're going to get an official, moment when Otis walks out on his own and, stands up for himself. But it might not happen until this weekend in Scotland. And because of that, I don't know who's going to win that match. I want Gable to win it because he's doing such great work. But I could see them pushing this out to Money in the Bank and, him winning it there. Or, I don't know. There's a lot of ways they can go with it. But or maybe he don't need Gable. Maybe he just calls up the brothers, the Creed brothers, and see what they got to say about this. If they can, bring a different vibe to Alpha Academy, But yeah, I'm locked in for that. I think that match has potential to steal the show on Saturday. Locked in for that. Can't wait. We also got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill making an appearance against them in the match where they had Shayna Baszler coming off a really good match last night with Blow Device. Definitely selling her knee injury from last night. Let's just give a round of applause for Shayna Baszler, man. It's like you just wrestled last night in a NXT Underground match, and then flew from Vegas all the way to Ohio to get prepared and have another match on Raw. And stuff like that is what I don't know. I know wrestlers travel a lot and wrestle, but I like when I can see the performances day after that. I'm not watching every live event, but that's the kind of grind that I just like to, show some respect for, especially when you got to be on television and selling the past injuries and all that stuff. But it was a cool match between Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, Zoe Stark and Shayna, which ended in a brawl, essentially, with the women. And we're going to get, the 3-woman tag team match, or 3-woman triple threat tag team championship match for the women. I'm looking forward to that as well. All the competitors in there, I'm a big fan of. Let me look at my notes real quick just so I know where I'm at and what I have yet to chat about. Got to talk about Braun and Illa. Man, Braun Breaker and Illa Dragunov was advertised for tonight. And when they advertise matches for Raw or SmackDown, typically they'll advertise maybe 1, 2 or 3, and one of those matches actually gets time. Tonight, that was the match that got the time, and that is the match that was the match of the night to me. I mean, come on now. Like, it was stiff. It was hard-hitting. This is Illa Dragunov. You know how he gets down. This is Braun Breaker. You know how he gets down. Illa put up a great fight. Illa is great at selling, but to no avail. Braun hit him with a couple of spears that looked like he split him in half. Then that led to him getting the victory, and then attempting to spear him again through the barricade, but Ricochet shows up and dives, and he starts attacking Braun, and he's coming to the rescue for Ilya Dragunov, just like Ilya came to his rescue. They start brawling, and he pretty much wards off Braun Breaker. He then picks up Ilya Dragunov. He helps him out. Later on, we cut backstage, and Ricochet's helping Ilya Dragunov. And out of nowhere, Braun comes and spears Ilya. Ricochet and him start brawling. They start brawling backstage to the parking lot. Braun gets the upper hand, and he chucks Ricochet into the side of a production truck, kind of like akin to Kevin Nash chucking Rey Mysterio into the side of the truck in WCW during that brawl. That's what I thought about. And then he hits him with a power slam off of the back of that, truck onto a car windshield, which was cool spot. I saw this and I said to myself, is this the way that they're writing Ricochet off? Because there is news now that Ricochet will be leaving WWE because his contract is up. When his contract is up, he's leaving. I'm not sure when the date is that he leaves, but this might be the way they're writing him off of television for now. He got taken out in an ambulance. Samantha Irving sold it. She, was crying, came out there, and she got in the back of the ambulance to assist him to the hospital. So they're clearly selling this like he's going to be out for a little bit. He did put the thumbs up. I kind of don't want this to be the end of Ricochet. I think he should come back for one big more hurrah with Braun Breaker. I want to see that match again. I want to see Ricochet get like a good match and at a good show, maybe Money in the Bank or something. And I want to see that be the moment that Braun actually takes him out for good, like something even more crazy than what we saw tonight. That's what I would like to see. I mean, I'm not sure if this is it. It might be it for Ricochet right now. All in all, Ricochet, great work. You're incredible, a talent. I do think in AEW, Ricochet will be a draw. I do think that here's the thing. I say that, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if AEW is going to use this guy right either. They did a lot of wrestlers go to AEW, and I just have, at least for me, the way they tell the stories that I'm not a big fan of. So is he going to have great matches? Absolutely. If you see Ricochet Wembley at All In, I think he can steal a show with that, like a bunch of guys on that roster, whether it be Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay, or Kenny Omega. Tons of guys. There's tons of guys that he can have great matches with. But at the same time, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where he goes. I'm just talking right now, just spitballing. I want to see with him going in the future in his career. But more than anything, I hope he's happy. I hope that he's happy with what he thinks he can do as a talent. And if he feels like he's been limited, fine. Go out there and build your cachet up. This is not the first time we've seen this. We've seen guys leave like Drew, like Cody. We've seen Jinder do it, leave and just change their entire persona. Maybe he needs that freedom again to create. And I think that we might see the best of Ricochet to come. So shout out to Ricochet. What else happened tonight? Io Sky is getting fed up with Damage Control. She is saying something needs to change. But she did pull out a victory against Lyra Valkyria and to start the night. So I really enjoyed that match. They always have really good chemistry. It was a good match. And then Casey Catanzaro, well, we don't call her that anymore, right? But Lacey Lane and Casey, they call them Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Yeah, they came out for the save on Lyra because they were jumping her after the match, Damage Control. But I love what EL's doing. Keep her relevant. She got a victory tonight. I like it. So I'm a big fan of EO. So just keep her on my television, bro. Anything else to touch on before I get up out of here? Not much to talk about outside of the main angles that I just touched on. Looking forward to when Rhea comes back because there's so much. When Rhea comes back, when Seth comes back, when CM Punk comes back, there's going to be a lot of tension with a lot of different people. So we are just getting warmed up for the summertime, baby. I think there's a lot of things that are going to be coming up. After WrestleMania, we go back just to the beginning of the story again. So it's a whole new story. And what happens when you start a book out? It slowly heats up. So I'm just trying to just hold and just stay tuned to what's going on. Really enjoying the Chad Gable stuff. I'm really enjoying what Otis said backstage too. Otis had like a little bit of a time to talk to Sammy and say, listen, he lost his Tucker. He lost his Peach, that was Mandy Rose, and he lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. He's like, when he found Chad Gable found him in a time when he needed something, and he helped him, rise, and that's why he sticks with him, because he's family, and that's his brother. So that's exactly what I was telling Chris during our podcast this past weekend, and that's why he takes this kind of abuse, and he's kind of like in Stockholm syndrome, and Sammy trying to pull him out of it. But I like giving him that. I'm a sucker for characters telling you their story and reminding you of what they've been through on the roster, to give that character more context on what they're doing in the moment. I don't think anything you do on camera should be eliminated down the line of and actually just ignoring what happened. I think it's all important. So I'm glad that Otis saying that back is one of the highlights of me, honestly, on the night, because I'm a sucker for story. I'm a sucker for somebody telling their character, explaining why they're doing it, their motivations behind what their actions are, and I think that grounds out the character so much more. Maybe because I'm a film guy or whatever it is, but I really enjoyed that moment with Otis and Sammy backstage. Just wanted to touch on that real quick, but I'm looking forward to Clash at the Castle, man. You guys let me know how you thought of the night. Leave a comment, leave a tweet, leave a whatever you guys got. Any things I'm saying that you guys agree with, disagree with. Definitely love to hear your comments on that stuff. All right, I think that's about it for tonight. All's love, everything is wrestling. I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out and have a good night.